We all fine. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Um, Today we have a special day for the JIGS TV news, and who knows why? What is special about this episode? So maybe you remember, maybe you don't, but it is exactly 1 year after our first episode. So this is our first anniversary. I hope you liked how JIGS TV developed through this time. We had, except for me, there was also Jonas presenting a few times, and recently also Andri, and I believe that Andri will present also more in the future. I hope you liked his streams as well. Mm, and yeah, we want to develop this program. So if you have any suggestions, what we can do differently, then just feel free to tell us. We are open for your suggestions and also for you for a cooperation with you. It would be very helpful if you want to join in one way or another. For example, just give us the news from your part of the Go world. Go World is very big. We are collecting news from the Far East, from European countries. We are trying also to collect news from America. We had a few people who helped us with this. So if you have anything what you miss here, then just contact us. We want to have as much content as we could. All right, and today, as each week, Mm, we will talk about the most important events in the Go world, and we are starting with the international tournament called the Nongshim Cup, one of the most exciting tournaments because it is a team tournament between the three strongest Go countries in the world: Japan, South Korea, and China. Andri already explained last week how it works. And in the first game, Shibano Toramaru from Japan, who we can see on the photo, was playing against Wong Seung-jin from the South Korea. I think we all know Wong Seung-jin mainly from, I mean, if you are watching these news, then you associate him mainly with the very good results he was getting in the Korean National League. He got a perfect score there. So he is a strong 9-dan player, and he managed to beat Shibano in the first game. Um, you can see this is already a standard in the Go competitions that all the players are checked if they don't have a phone when they enter the playing hall. This is the anti-AI check. All right, and then Won Song Jin in his second game was playing against Liu Weiting from China. This is Liu Weiting, and Liu Weiting managed to win. And then Liu Weiting was playing Kyokagen again, and Kyokagen representing Japan beat Liu Weiting. So after the first three rounds, it was a draw. Nongshim Cup is always played in three stages. So they before the pandemics they were meeting. Now they are just playing online. But they play the first four games, then the next five games, and these will be played in 1 month. And then again, how many games are needed, because it is not decided in the beginning how many games it will be played in this tournament. Depends on the results. Okay. In the last game of the first stage, Kyokagen was playing against Park Jong-hwan, and Park Jong-hwan won. We have quite a lot of games today from the Nongshim Cup. We could have 4 games, but we will just look at the first one, at the opening games, where Shibano Toramaru was facing Won Song-jin. All right, Won Song-jin was black. Right, it is. This board is a little bit too small. Let me make it bigger. Okay. Won Songjin is taking black. And I think the first interesting choice in this game was after the first Joseki, black wanted to continue his corner approach. And a normal way to continue a corner approach is to play a double approach. This is the most commonly seen continuation. But instead, Won Songjin just invaded in the corner. What is the meaning of this move? I think that his idea was that usually white would block and white would make a wall on the bottom. However, now black is not afraid of white making a wall because white will never develop a moyo on the bottom. So white was not that interested in the bottom side, and Shibano decided to block from the other side, which enabled black to build something on the bottom side. And then the very interesting thing started after the next Joseki. White played the double hane, and there are clearly some weak points in white's shape. But Won Songjin didn't see a way to use them directly. It would only create a weak group, and it would be very risky. So instead, Won Songjin used a very interesting technique. He attached on the other side. And now Shibano was afraid that if he goes into a fight, then this weakness connected with that weakness can together be a very dangerous thing. So instead he secured that shape, but then Won Songjin played another move. Shibano decided to save the other 3 stones, and in the end Won Songjin took a ponnuki. There is a proverb that ponnuki is worth 30 points, so apparently Shibano thought that securing this shape and going out with the 3 stones is also as valuable. However, afterwards it was not easy for white to deal with black's attack on the 3 stones, and it all finished in seki. It was a seki between this group of white and this group of black. So a very interesting result. It was a center for Won Songjin, and later white's task was to break the bottom side, because otherwise the bottom side is just too big. So white tried to do it with this nice tesuji, and in the end it made it possible for white to capture black's corner. However, black secured a big territory, and after a couple of more moves were played, Shibano Toramaru resigned. So black's territory was just too big. I don't know how was the initial choice of giving a ponnuki to black. Maybe it was comfortable for black, in fact. Alright, that's it about this game and about the Nongshim Cup for now. Maybe if next week we have less games, then we can watch more games from the Nongshim Cup. These are the top level games because the players are trying very hard in such a team competition. Samsung Cup. Samsung Cup starts soon. Yes, this we know, but it doesn't start yet. So this is the old slide. We will go back to the Samsung Cup in. I am not sure. I think that in 1 week, but maybe in November. Maybe I confused it. All right, and then we move to Japan, where the next game of the Meijin title match was played. In this title match, Ichiriki Ryo is trying to get away to get the title from Yama, who is holding the title already for quite many years, I think 7 years. The game was played in Kofu in Yamanashi province, and the next game will start tomorrow in Atami, Shizuoka province. So we will have one more game to watch, but for now we have the game of Ichiriki versus Yana, round number 5. These title matches in Japan are played in a system best of 7, and after the first 4 games, the result was 2-2. So this was the 5th game, and in the Japanese Go television, the game was reviewed live by the old master Chochi-kun and I forgot who is the gentleman on the left. It is Konorin. Konorin. Yes, thank you for telling me. By the way, I think I didn't switch on the chat, so sorry for that. How is this? Let me try to switch the chat on. Somehow I am not getting it. I see what happened. So I saw the chat in my place, but unfortunately I didn't. It was not displayed. Okay, so now I made it a bit better, a bit worse. How to change it? This is the background, and what is above the background that it is making it all look bad. I know already what is on the background. So one more second. Okay. Now it will be black is ahead by 1 point after taking Ponuki. Yeah, this is a very interesting remark. All right, so it was rather an even exchange. By the way, now we will move to the Meijin game, and the game was commented live by Chochi-kun and Konorin. Chochi-kun is a very energetic gentleman, and I hope that our commentary will be as interesting as his. However, I have one more thing about Chochi-kun. This is the 46th Meijin title match. And already, right now, there is the qualification to the 47th Meijin tournament happening. And there, Chochi-kun, who is the honorary Meijin, because he won many times Meijin in his Go career, he was playing against Hye-min, one of the strongest Japanese female players. She's 7-dan professional. And actually, Hye-min won. So now Hye-min is, I think, only one game away from advancing to the main tournament of the 47th Meijin. For now, let's stay in the 46th Meijin title match, and let's watch the game of Ichiriki and Yana. We will see who wins this one. I think this game was very interesting to watch, but maybe mainly the second part. So the game started. The game started with common in these days situation that a wall which black gets after white Sansan invasion appeared to be a bit of a target for white's attack. So black is of course not very weak with that wall, but black needs to care about it. So black cared about it and tried to attack white instead, and white was running out. And then the game became a bit calmer for a moment. But afterwards, black was trying to make a big moyo on the left side. This is also a thing which is very common in Go, that one player is attacking the other one, but he is not really trying to kill the group. Instead, he is trying to get an influence so that he gets a moyo on the other side of the board. Right now, Yamayuta had another task. He needs to invade the other moyo, so he did. But there are many stones of black around, and interestingly, after this attachment, black just secured a shape on the other side, and white was actually afraid of going out with this group. If white goes out like this, perhaps black's attack might be too severe. So even though the situation looks very important around this place, white decided to play a move which is a bit further and reduce black's area. And it all finished with a ko. A ko started. If black wins this ko, black gets a really big territory in the center. So white doesn't want to lose the ko, but black has ko threats against the group on the other side. So this is already a moment when Ichiriki starts feeling good, because for white it is more difficult to find a ko threat. White connected, but as you will see soon, now the ko became lighter for black. If white connects now, the exchange which was made during the ko fight is already satisfying for black a little. Anyway, still black wants to win the ko, white doesn't want to lose it and to lose the stones in the center. So black is playing threats, white is answering. But after a few moves of black, white decided that white cannot keep answering, and white just connected the ko. And this was a risky decision, because then Ichiriki put a lot of pressure on white's group, and Yana was trying his best to live, to run out, but in the end he didn't manage, and the group died, having only one eye. So this was a very spectacular finish of the game, and it means that Ichiriki is already leading 3-2 in the maiden title match. So maybe Ichiriki will be the one to take the crown from Iyama's head. Here we can see the hero of the last game, but he has one more game to win, and either he manages tomorrow and the day after, this will be one game, or if he doesn't manage, then the last game will be played in 2 weeks, again in Atami in Shizuoka. Okay, yeah, let's all cheer for Ichiriki, and here we have another news, the Shinjin of Tournament. Shinjin of, the king of the youth, or the rookie of the year. This was a tournament about which we reported in September. Maybe you already don't remember, because there was a big break between the first game of the title match and then the next 2 games. In this title match, Ueno Asami was playing Sotoyanagi Sebun. It is one of a few times where a female player reached a final of the mixed tournament. So Ueno was a big sensation. However, Sotoyanagi was also a strong competitor. And after the first match, if you remember from September, Sotoyanagi was winning 1-0. And then they played 2 more games, and we already know from the title of the slide that in the end Sotoyanagi made it. This is how the second game was played, and this is the third one. The third one was played at the table, or unless this is a reviewing room. Here we have Ueno Asami, here we have Sotoyanagi, and we will just take a short look at their 2 games. In the second game, Ueno Asami was taking black, and they started with this modern joseki, which was first introduced by AlphaGo. So before we knew such joseki, and then AlphaGo Master introduced such a move, which leads to a lighter shape of white, but also a more safe shape of black, because there is an access to the corner. All right. Later in the game, I think the first interesting action started where Sotoyanagi invaded black's corner, and in fact it was not really meant as an invasion. This is like a probing move, after which if black answers from this side, then sorry, I am not showing the board. Okay, yes. Okay, so let me go back. Thank you for telling me. So I was saying that the game started with this modern joseki, right? White playing the tiger's mouth instead of the most commonly seen joseki. This is a very similar final shape, but white is lighter and black is also a bit lighter. They both have more of an eye shape. And then the next interesting action of this game started when white invaded the corner, and it was meant as a probing move. If black just blocks, which looks the most natural move, white can have a continuation, trying like this, trying to live in the corner or get something on the outside, and also white can attach from the other side and try to over-concentrate black. But when Asami answered in a very brave way, she let Sotoyanagi go out, and then it became a splitting attack. Sotoyanagi had a weak group here and a weak group there. So I think it was a nice idea by Ueno. And then the next Sotoyanagi was trying to live with the group on the in the corner and also run with the other group. But by putting a constant pressure, black was getting something in exchange, getting the territory on the right side. And then still it was not that easy for white to connect, and we got a ko. Wait, where was the ko? It was wait, it was later. It was in the other game. The ko was in the other game. In this game, Ueno Asami just managed to actually capture white's cornerstone, and then white invaded black's area, and it all finished in a very exciting fight. Black didn't die with the dumpling, but white also lived. And in the end, the game went until the end game. Ueno Asami had more points, and Sotoyanagi resigned. Okay. Then they played the third game, and again they had the same colors. You might know it that that if there are such title matches, that there are many games, then in the first game there is a nigiri done. The colors are decided randomly, and then they are played like if you played black in the first game, you played white in the second game. But as it might happen that after all the games but one, there is still a draw and there is the last game to be played, then again the nigiri is done. So again the nigiri was done, and again Ueno Asami was taking black. In this game we had a joseki which looked pretty old school, so a very far approach to black's corner and black's Hasami. The reason white approaches so far is that black already has a supporting stone. It is also possible to approach close, but then for sure the fight will be a bit more difficult for white because of black's stone at Q12. At Q12 you don't see the coordinates maybe, but this stone of black. So in the end, just white created a group, black created a group, and the game developed in a rather peaceful manner. And then this this fight made the game more interesting. So no one wants to die with the cutting stones, but the ladders also doesn't work for neither of the players. And in the end, a big exchange happens that black gets a very strong position on the top, but white actually captures 2 stones of black in a ladder. Difficult to say who is this result good for, but for sure Sotoyanagi will be able to create a big framework on the bottom from now on. For now, white needed to make life with the groups on the top, and then could go back to to what was happening on the bottom. It's very interesting that in this game white was not willing to just capture the 2 stones, because he always thought that he can make the ladder work with more active moves, which have some function except for capturing the stones. This is usually not a good practice. This is very risky to do so. Usually you just capture a ladder and the situation is clear, but here it really worked. Black cannot find a good ladder breaker. If black just plays something like this, probably white gained with such an exchange. Anyway, the game went rather calmly away. Not really rather calmly until the end game, because in the end there was wait. There was actually a in the end game. Probably when Asami already saw that she is behind and she cannot just make life with the group, so she played elsewhere. But then a call for the whole group of black started, and after losing this call, black just died. All right, black can kill the group of white on the top, but the group of black is just bigger. So a dramatic ending, but in fact the game was rather peaceful, and just went for this because she knew she is behind. Okay, this means Soto Yanagi Sebun wins the tournament. Congratulations! He is the rookie of the year, the new young star. And actually in China, now we will move to China. In China we have an even younger new star, Ding Hao. He is the first Chinese player born in the 21st century, so after the year 2000, who managed to win the national title. Here the title was Nongshim Cup, and in the final, Yang Dingxin, a bit older player, was playing against Ding Hao. Here we can see him, and let's look at their first game. Actually, they played their first game on Saturday and the second game today, but I haven't found the record yet, so we will have only the first game. Maybe this is the other game. Maybe next week we can also see their second game, which decided about Ding Hao getting the title. But for now, let's watch this one. It started with Ding Hao seizing this stone of white, and then white playing peaceful moves on in the other parts of the board. It's a bit bad news to just die with such a stone. So instead of just forgetting about it, Yang Dingxin is trying to get some advantage out of it, sacrifice it, and plays this second line move, looking at the continuation at G18 at A. A very creative idea. Black didn't want to just block. This would be too easy for white, so black attached instead, and in the end white got out and black secured both corners. Later, black played this interesting move, which is certainly a nice continuation of the move at A, and also puts pressure on white stones. But the real meaning of this move we will see in a moment. What did white do? White answered in a very innovative way. He invaded into such a solid corner. What is the meaning of the invasion? Probably it is an asking move. If black blocks the corner, then white will get something on the outside. This move will be centered, that move will be centered. If black plays from the top, then there is some agi in the corner. But then black didn't answer, but black continued his idea of this keima. He cut, and now we see that the keima is a ladder breaker. White cannot play this. White cannot capture black in a ladder because it will become an atari. So white needed to sacrifice one stone, but this put a lot of pressure on the group of white. And black got some advantage, a few points out of it. Where is the next move? This is a very important position. I don't know if you have any intuition. but this is the next move is very professional. I think that many amateur players would now already look at different parts of the board. They invade the right side very big, the bottom side also very big, the left side also very big, but there is something which is actually more important than invasions and than big sides. It is the shape of black and the shape of white, and this turn has a very, very big value. Probably if we look at the pro game and we go through it very fast, we will not notice such a move. Black just played one move and okay, we go further. But if we stop for a moment in such a situation, think of our own ideas, and we realize how many big moves there are on the board, and then we see that the professional actually plays this move which looks very slow, then we can think why this is so important. In fact, it puts pressure on white's shape. Later it will be possible for black to maybe play this Hane, maybe not attack so directly, but later there also black can think of a cut. And what more, if black doesn't play this move, then white's push also has a big continuation, and suddenly black capturing that one stone is not that interesting anymore, because black invested six stones into capturing one stone of white. So black plays this turn, and then white thinks that the right side of black is already a bit big, and white doesn't want to agree on that. We can see that black even continues with the jump instead of any direct attack on white stone. And then white built a shape, black put a pressure on white's shape, and the game continued with a little bit weak group of white. So this might be good news for black, because the other group of white is also not very strong. In the game, black managed to use this position very nicely, but before black did so, white showed what was the continuation of that invasion. So white continued, and white just made life in the corner, but then black had time to add some moves to attack white's groups. And white was running, but he was all the time split. And actually the groups are pretty big. It's very difficult for white to even think of sacrificing. So when black played this surprising wedge, white couldn't just say, okay, you take something, I take something, because black gets too much. White's group is too big. So instead, white didn't let black cut them, but then black connected back the 3 stones, and now the position already looks a bit comfortable for Ding Hao. Later it was still a call, but white was in pain with this group, with the other group, and by the attacks black managed to destroy white's bottom side and make life in the corner. At this moment, alright, white lived with both of their groups, but black lived on a big scale on white's side, and Yang Dingxin resigned. This is it about this game. As I said, there is the next game was played only today, so maybe we will see it on the next week. But here we can see the winner of the Nongshim Cup, Ding Hao. Congratulations! In China this week there was also another tournament, semi-finals, the Nongshim Tournament. Nongshim is a tournament which is played in a similar system to the Nongshim Cup. It is also a win and continue tournament in the qualification phase. There are 2 groups, and in each the players are seeded with some numbers, with some ranks, and then if you win, you continue. If you lose, you are out of the tournament. So of course the player who is the last in the last to come on the scene, on the stage, has the biggest chances. He just needs to win one game. But actually the qualification to the semi-finals is not only to the players who stayed as the last one on the stage, but also for the players who won the most games in a row, who got the longest winning streak. So these were the semifinals, and the game we look at there, it's not a semifinal. I guess you can recognize that it is Kejie on the left and Lian Xiao on the right, and they did not qualify to the semifinals. In the final, we will see a match between Mi Yuting and Gu Zihao. And when exactly the final will happen, this we will see. I didn't see it announced yet. And now we move to Europe, and we have a big news from Europe. The European Youth Go Championship took place last weekend on the OGS Go server. This is already a standard for European online tournaments, that they get a group on the OGS and the games are played there. This is unfortunate that the tournament needed to be played online. Next year it should happen already offline in March in Czechia, in the Czech Republic. However, I mean, the games were played online and most of the players played from their homes, but not all. In fact, in Moscow, there were many players participating, and the Moscow Go Federation rented a place for the youth players to come and play together, so that they have the camera control together, and it was all easier to organize. On this photo, we can see actually two medalists. On the first guy we can see on the front, it is Alex Muromtsev, who won the under 16 category, and the second one is Yegor Lavrov, who took the silver medal. And if I am not wrong, the guy in the background showing two fingers, it is Savamezin, who took a bronze medal in the under 20 category. So we had many medalists playing from that co-working place in Moscow. And thanks to the games thanks to the players playing from one place, some of the games actually could be played offline. Here we can see Lyosha Igonin playing against Yegor Lavrov, and they are playing offline. And the final standings in the under 20 category, Oscar Vasquez managed to win. He is the European champion. He didn't lose a single game. The second place was taken by Arvid Pittner. Arvid is actually a new participant in this under 20 category. I am not sure. Maybe he's 17, and he did very well. He lost only to Oscar. And the third place was taken by Sava. In the under 16, the competition was the most was the sharpest, and no one got the complete of wins. But the first two places were taken by the Russian players, Alex and Yegor, and then the third place, Vsevolod from Ukraine, who actually already won the European Youth Go Championship at least once, but I think a few times already. And in the under 12 category, the first three places were taken by Russian players, Vyacheslav Shpakovsky, Ruslan Tarasov, and Artur Gimadiev. The first guy is from Moscow, and the other two from Kazan, if I am not wrong. And actually in the under 12 category, not only the first three places, but the first 7 places were taken by Russian kids. So Russian Youth Go is the strongest in Europe, and we will see if it stays this way, and these guys in 8 years also win the under 20 category. It is never easy in the under 20 category, as we always get the already European level players there, like players who can compete also in the European Championship. So we will see. And thanks to the initiative of the European Go Federation and the European professionals, games from each round were commented live on Twitch. I think that all the games were commented by Ali Jabarin and Pavel Lise, but maybe not, maybe no. For example, in the first round it was Ali Jabarin and Ilya Shikshin. All right, this is it about the European Youth Go Championship, and at the same time in Moscow there was an Autumn Go Festival, which had actually many different events in it. 6 different competitions, lectures, simultaneous games, and there were also the youth competitions there. In fact, it was supposed to be Moscow Youth Championship, but then apparently the date was the same as the date of the European Youth Championship. So some of the Moscow players played in the European Youth Championship. And here we can see simultaneous game, which was given by Vyacheslav Kamin and Anton Chernykh, 6 Dan players. And I hope all of the participants had fun. We can see that they got a lot of diplomas and a lot of prizes. All right. So this is it. We had a very long JIGS TV news today. There were many news, and actually one thing which I didn't manage to do in time is preparing the new Tsumego. So we have unfortunately the same Tsumego as last week. If you have already sent the solutions, then there is no Tsumego this week, unfortunately. But if you didn't, then please join the Tsumego competition. We have in total, I think, 60 participants or something around this number, at least 50. So it is a big thing. And next week already we will have the results from the previous weeks all counted and the new problems. But today I was just doing this in the last moment, so sorry for that. The results we will all see cumulative results from the last 3 weeks on next Monday. All right, so this is it for today, and thank you for listening to this anniversary edition of the JIGS TV Go News. I hope that the second year will be even better than the first year. I hope that we will make more improvements than so far. I don't know how much you see. From my side, I see a lot of things being changed, a lot of small changes, making our program better and better. And please come in 1 week. And in 1 week, I think it will be again Andriy Krawiec, to them professional, because I will not be available. I will be already in Sweden. Maybe you know, maybe you don't, but you will see it in a moment on the CU screen that in 1 week the European professional qualification starts, and it will last for a week. It will be in Leksand in Sweden. So many games to watch, and yeah, a very serious tournament. Okay, thank you, thanks to all of you, and see you. Bye bye.